that N64 was next level.
It was. I remember seeing the graphics on it and thinking, it cannot get any more real than this. This isn't how I pictured it, but this is how I'm gonna die. Same old Carson,
Hasn't changed a bit.
but married and no longer a virgin.
Oh, bro.
What?
You should clip that. Just that one.
Just leave it in the podcast?
No, just take that 10 seconds and send it to him. Like if you just send it to me, I'll text it to him.
Okay.
Same old Carson. Yeah, he's the same guy. Yeah, same Carson.
Oh, I better
Just
mute
married and no longer a virgin. Week 11.
Week 11 of another podcast. Welcome to our podcast where we talk about whatever we want. This is Donnie. I'm Jared, known as I'm Red Ryan. And I hope you guys enjoyed your week.
Yep. What is this week? This week is the in-betweenies between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
December
8th today?
12th, maybe? I think today's the 12th.
Today's the 12th. Holy crap.
12 days till Christmas.
Yeah.
Or wait, 13 days till Christmas.
Indeed.
Does Christmas still have that magical feeling for you, or is it gone?
Oh, gosh. I think that Christmas, it's up to adults to continue to remain tender about Christmas, but you have to work for it. So I don't feel the Christmassy thing probably right now that I should, but I think that it's up to me to try to retain as much joy or like foster as much joy about Christmas as I possibly can.
Do you still listen to Christmas music?
Oh yeah.
I
Well, I play a hell of a lot of it being a musician. So
right.
I'm like, I've got a. You know, it's so funny about being a professional musician, like at the lower levels where I'm at right now, is that you play like every single day up until Christmas. It's like brrr, like all the gigs, all the churches, everything else. So I have like 4 or 5 lined up. Like next week's gonna be just like crazy. And then you don't play again until like February.
Oh wow!
Because the economy doesn't like want to pay large numbers.
Yeah, because we're all spending our money in December.
Yeah, and then you're like, everyone's like, oh God, I'm out of money. So
it's fun being the kid during Christmas because you know you get to make Christmas cookies, you get presents, you get to pretend there's a thing called Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And then on the parents' side, bills have doubled because you're buying your kids presents, your wife presents, your friend that you don't like very much presents.
Well, but you okay?
Like
that sounds like its own little special hell, though. Like, so how does Christmas? Like, why participate at that level for you?
Because even though that's happening, I still enjoy it a lot. I like
even
now
buying presents for
so the
people you
magic
don't
of
like?
Christmas for me now as a parent is watching my kid open Pikmin 4. Like I'm looking forward to that moment.
Right,
like,
because he's so excited.
He's so excited.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see the expression on his face when he finally gets the thing that he's been wanting for so long. Have you seen these videos where these parents like bag up a PlayStation 5 and then the kid opens up the PlayStation 5 and it's just like a pair of socks? Have you seen these? I think they're terrible. It's the worst joke you could possibly do.
It's the exact opposite of the N64 kid.
What's the N64
Do you
kid?
not remember the N64 kid?
No.
Oh, okay, classic YouTube, or maybe even E-Bomb's World. It was like a long time ago. There was a kid who finally got an N64. It was in the 90s, and he lost his mind. And somebody had recorded it, and it became one of the first viral like Christmas videos. Like this was like N64. Anyways, you should probably like link to it.
Yeah,
like throw it up
and that's it. Was there?
Oh, but we all felt that way.
Oh,
about
right.
the N64. Like,
so it was an N64. It wasn't.
Oh
a pair of
yeah.
socks.
They weren't like trolling him. He just literally lost his mind about having an N64, which is amazing. Like objectively, when we were kids, when the Nintendo 64 came out,
it was the thing.
You and I both had Sega Genesis
consoles,
and then, dude, that N64 was next level.
It was. I remember seeing the graphics on it and thinking, it cannot get any more real than this.
Oh my gosh! And in that Shadows of the Empire game, like the first Star Wars, like 3D, you could, that first level out in the snow, that was epic. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, and it looked all real. Now you look back at it now, and you're like, man, these graphics suck.
You say that, but okay, you remember the first level of Shadows of the Empire? No, not the first level. The second level, you're inside the snow place, and at the end of that level was a walker inside the hangar, and you had to fight the walker on your own.
Yep.
I played it, still scared me.
You played it recently?
It scared me then, because it was like, you're like,
it's like
huge
looking
and
for
it's
you.
looking for you, and like, you know what I mean? And then you have to like run away from it, and then, find the little, it freaked me out. You know what else freaked me out was the robot on the trash planet. When you fight IG-88.
I can remember the walker, I can't remember that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. My point is that we can talk about the graphics being terrible, yet I'm still literally afraid when I play like this ancient game. My little me is like,
Dear God. If your parents would have given you like boxed up a Nintendo 64
and then put the socks in it,
and then there was socks in it, and you opened it, do you think that would have like had trauma?
I don't think so. I think
it just would have been a joke.
I think what would happen is like just like it does with all these kids is they get upset at first, and then everyone's laughing at them, and then they're like, psych, here it is. Here's the PlayStation. It was in the closet.
But some of these parents aren't doing that. It's just...
Oh, you mean
they're just getting a pair of socks and no PlayStation 5 at all. That's what I'm talking about. That's terrible. I would never do that to my kid, and I would never want my wife to like give me an iPhone 15 and then me open it up and it's like, here's the electric bill. Like, I don't want... That'd be terrible. Christmas would be ruined. Anyways.
Okay, no, that's funny.
Why is that funny?
Like an iPhone 15 box,
yeah,
and then you open it up and it's the bill you had to pay instead of getting the iPhone. That's so funny. That's so funny to me. You're like, honey, I wanted to get you this thing you've been asking for 6 months, but instead all the money, like I figured you wanted the lights on more. It's like your excuse is in the box.
The lights are on, Merry Christmas.
And you had to go to the trouble to find someone else who has an iPhone 15 to give you their box. Do you have a stack of Apple boxes? Of like Apple product boxes?
I have like a stack of iPad boxes.
Yeah, I have like every Apple thing that I own. I'm like, I better save the box for this. I have no idea why. The box is so nice that I have like 3 MacBooks ago. MacBook boxes.
Have you ever sold any of your Mac box or
nope,
books?
Nope. Nobody wants an old crusty MacBook. And
just hoarding boxes.
Well, I also think like, what about the hard drive on that? Maybe I need something from there. Or you ever think about the text message conversations from 4 iPhones ago that you can still see? Like you could pop open an old iPhone and like see what you were talking to so-and-so about.
Mine's all saved to my iCloud, so I can change phones and it's all still there. I have not deleted my text messages for maybe 12 years.
Yeah.
I just got all 12 years of my text messages in my phone. Because sometimes something that I'll do is I'll save like a receipt I need for something and I'll text it to myself. And then if something ever pops up, like, oh yeah, where'd I put that? Right, I'd put it in my text messages, and I don't ever want to lose that, so I just never delete it.
That's pretty smart. I think that's a great idea.
Well, it's worked so far, except for I have to scroll for forever to get to some of the things that I need, instead of just putting.
Oh yeah, the scroll forever. That is not a fun game.
No,
the iPhone has to do something better with that. You should be able to search your own text threads.
I think you can. You type in a word, and if whatever text thread that you've said that word in, it'll pop up.
Oh.
Yeah. So they do have that. We were talking about birds on the way here, and I thought we should talk about it here. It's kind of funny how they flock together.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like one bird decides to go somewhere, and then all of them are like, oh yeah, we should do that too.
Yeah, so we were driving down the street. There's a massive flock of birds, and all the birds fly together for some reason, and that leads me to believe that there's a leader of the birds.
There's one smart bird with
one
bunch of stupid
one bird that understands what's going on, and then all the other birds are just like, oh yeah, what he's doing.
Oh, Jeff's going that way, we gotta follow him.
Yeah.
What's Jeff doing? I should do that.
I wonder if if you kill the one bird at the top, if all the other birds are like, ah,
Chaos.
we have no leader. Now, I think it's dumber than that. I think birds are just programmed to follow other birds.
Yeah, but there's got to be the one. There's got to be one bird that chose to do the thing first.
The most afraid bird.
The most afraid. The scaredest bird.
Yeah, the scaredest bird happens to be the leader every time. It's not, and it doesn't matter which of the birds it is. It's the most afraid bird that jumps first.
Mm.
Yeah, as soon as the bird that is most frightened moves, all the other birds are like, oh, shit.
Oh yeah, I should be scared.
Yeah, I should be scared right now. I think that's how it works. I think it's how it works because predators. Yeah, like if one bird's like, whoa, cat! The other birds aren't going to wait to be like, I don't know about if that cat's real. They're just like, I'm going.
And I think with those birds, too, if a cat were to get one of those birds, the other birds would just be like, all right, Bob's dead, let's leave.
They wouldn't even, he doesn't even
no
have a
hope
name.
for Bob. It's not like they flock together and try to save him. They're just like, okay, this is our chance to leave.
Whoa. Every bird for himself.
Every bird for himself. Birds do not fly together. Every bird for himself. Did you go tubing when you were a kid on like the lake? Or skiing?
My parents didn't own or rent boats.
So you never went with like a friend or something?
I have done that before, yeah.
So did you ever learn to ski?
Did I learn to ski? I've learned to snow ski, but not
water ski.
Yeah, not water ski.
I was the exact opposite.
You got to water ski a lot?
I grew up learning how to water ski on my grandpa's boat.
Oh, you got a boat. Which one? Was it Grandpa Jim?
Grandpa Fred. And then I would go tubing with Jake and Jake and Cody and their family.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that about
on the summers. I bring that up because I wanted to tell a story.
Okay.
About a tubing experience that I had. So me and Jake, we are on the lake with his parents, and we're on the tube, and his dad's driving the boat. Yeah. And his goal is always to like fling us and then try to get us to get knocked off the tube. But he took it super intense. Like he was very intense with it. Like he'll turn the car right, and then the boat right, and then just like immediately, and it makes it to where you're just flying at a super fast rate.
Right.
And then another thing he would do is he would try to find the big wakes. Sure, so we'd go really fast, hit the wake, and bounce up, and he'd knock us off. There was one time where he...
Okay. This, you have to put this in the context of you're doing this, but that's also your child.
We're like 18 years old.
This is Larry, right?
Yeah, this is Larry.
Like Jake and Cody's dad, he's like, no shits whether or not his kids get hurt. He's just like ready to.
Yeah. So he spots this big wake, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna get them on this wake, and he turns the boat super fast. Normal thing. We're going at an incredibly fast speed. Yeah. This wake is gigantic, and I can see it coming up, and I'm like, oh god. Yeah. And he takes the tube, hits the wake. We go literally like 70 feet in the air.
70?
He succeeds at knocking us off this tube.
70 is so many, bro.
I'm telling you, it was the highest I've ever been.
I still don't believe you. 70.
No, it was
70 is way up there.
Yes, like 10 of me or 12 of me or whatever.
70 is literally just under 8 stories.
It was we were like a bird. We were in the sky.
Okay.
And I'm way up here, and I look over, Jake's up here with me, and we're just, oh God! And we start to come down.
Did you belly flop?
And we were going so fast. So I hit the water, it immediately knocks the wind out of me. And I come up, I'm struggling to breathe, and I can see Jake is still in the sky, about to land on me. No. And I'm like, okay. This isn't how I pictured it, but this is how I'm gonna die. And Jake just barely misses me. And like literally just like, woo! And I'm still struggling to breathe because it knocked the wind out of me. So I'm like, oh God, he's gonna kill me. And he misses me. And as I'm getting my breath back, we can hear in the distance, oh my God! And people just clapping. Because it had to be a crazy sight. I'm not kidding. It was just like the timing was perfect. Giant weight, super fast, launched us at least 70 feet in the air. It was a scary, great experience that caused me to not be able to breathe and think I was going to die.
Just makes me sad I wasn't there.
And the fact that people were cheering for us.
Yeah.
I was like kind of proud. Yeah, I lived.
Were you all bruised up?
No, I wasn't bruised up.
Yeah.
We were fine.
I'm still suspect of whether or not it was 70 feet or not, because that's so high, bro.
But it was high enough to when I hit the water, I couldn't breathe. It knocked the wind out of me.
Oh, no doubt.
Maybe I'm exaggerating it just a little bit, but it was.
I mean,
way
it is
there.
probably possible to launch somebody super duper far with a boat like that. I believe it, but man, that is so crazy. I mean, that must have been terrifying. How old were you?
It was like 18, and it was terrifying.
Yeah.
the main thing that was terrifying was I thought Jake was gonna kill me by landing on me.
Oh, you could see Jake coming down after you had hit the water and came up.
I had gotten above the water,
And then Jake
opened
was
my
still
eyes,
flying.
could kind of hear the cheering in the background, and then I could see Jake about to land on me. There's a lot going on.
This all happened at once. I feel like it slowed down. Like time slowed down.
He was like, Jake is gonna kill me.
I'm gonna get killed by Jake's butthole. Whoa.
Do you have any crazy snow soaring or snow skiing stories?
Snow skiing stories. Well, I will say
I
that
have one of those as
you
well.
have to get into shape to go snow skiing and enjoy it. Because
Really?
my fat ass would go snow skiing, and the first day I'd be like, "This is great." The second day I'd be like, "Oh, this is terrible." Third day I'd be like, "I hate skiing. This is the worst experience of my life. I'm so tired. Like my legs hurt so bad." It would always be, up in here, like these muscles, your quads or whatever. So I, if I'm gonna go skiing again, I need to start doing lots of squats and like running a lot. I think that's the way to enjoy skiing the most. I don't know if I have any really funny skiing stories.
Scary skiing stories?
Everything about skiing is terrifying. Like
Yeah.
you have to just be okay with a certain level of I could hit a tree and Sonny Bono my way all the way to heaven, or hell in my case.
I've only went snow skiing twice, and there was one time where I went with Lauren's family to this ski resort. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to teach me how to ski because I couldn't figure out how to do the thing where you're like going side to side and kind of controlling yourself.
Yeah, so you had to just pizza.
So I wouldn't pizza. I would just bomb the hill because I couldn't figure it out.
You're going
And
so fast.
So Lauren's sister Stephanie is teaching me how to ski, and I'm not getting it, but I'm able to like balance myself really well and get a decent speed. So she's teaching me, and I think I figured it out because I'm going fast and I'm balancing.
Yeah.
I don't have the ability to stop. So
That's the first thing you got to learn.
So I'm going down this hill, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. And then all of a sudden, there's this kid kind of like walking towards the area that I'm going to be. And I'm thinking the whole time, well, I can't stop, so I hope he does. And if he doesn't, we're both dead. And so he's walking up to his other friend, and his other friend starts walking into the path that I'm heading down, and I don't have the ability to stop.
Yeah.
Anyways, right as I'm about to get to them, and they're still walking, and they both stop, and I just go right down the middle of them, and I'm like, whoo, dear God. Glad I didn't kill that kid and myself.
I would have been pretty upset with you.
I was pretty proud of myself. I got to the bottom of the hill, and I turned around to look at Stephanie, and I'm expecting her to go, yeah, good job, Jared. And she's like, Jared, bad idea. Bad Jared. Don't bomb hills. You could have killed yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
it's I would do it again for sure. It's expensive, like beyond expensive. I remember going skiing and being absolutely baffled at how much money you'd spend. Because you have to find a place to stay around the mountain, and of course all those places. Yeah.
Get the skiing outfit.
Yeah. I actually have a skiing outfit.
You still have
Somebody
one?
gave me one, and it's from the 80s, so I look like Clark Griswold, when I wear it. It's like an old school one. It still works, and as often as I use it, which is like twice in my life, I'm glad to have it, but I'm not gonna go buy another one.
Well, I want to do a couple of these hot takes
Hot takes.
and get your opinions on them.
Okay.
All right. This is a game that we read a couple hot takes from
Yeah.
and say our opinions on them. You can play it at home with your family. Baths are gross.
You know what? Lots of my friends have thought that. But the coolest guy I knew, his name is Trent Ekblad. He's like the coolest guy. Whenever
Yeah.
we were in college, he was the cool guy. Trent took baths. And
Nice.
I don't know. I don't take baths. Not because I'm
You never take a
opposed
bath?
to them. I'm not opposed to them. I just think a shower is efficient. And I'm never like, I'm going to take a bath tonight. Tonight, I'm going to treat myself
To
to
a bath.
swimming around in my own
Phil.
filth. Yeah, like, though I have nothing against it.
I like baths.
Are you a big bath guy?
I'm not a big bath guy, but occasionally what I'll do is I'll take a bath and then I'll transition to a shower. But I'll start at the bath.
There was a meme I saw this week that was like, my kid's refusing to drink water or eat vegetables or anything else, and then also my kid drinking their pee bath water. This is some gourmet, gourmet pee bath water.
This water is salty. Delicious. So your opinion is baths are gross? Not a fan
I
of
don't
baths.
know. It's not. No, baths are baths. I'm fine with them.
All right.
Me and baths.
I like baths.
Yeah. Android products are better quality than Apple products.
No.
Yeah, no way.
No, the user experience is worse. Yes, you can download all the apps you want and have a more personal experience or whatever, but the user interface on an Apple device, 1,000 times better. Also, I've been trained to know how to use it, so I don't really want to learn something new.
Yeah, I think that what I do love about Apple over Android is the walled garden.
Yes.
And it used to be better, but the idea that Apple products are defended
Yep.
from outside interference
From
and they're
malware.
tested with each other.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that idea. Now it does make the Android's always ahead of Apple in their like experimentation, which I can dig, but let them screw it up on the Androids and then Apple perfect it inside the garden.
Yeah. I'm a big Apple
Plus,
fan.
can't tell the difference with iPhones. I can't tell the difference for the last 5 years or maybe even 10 years. Like my iPhone, whatever, I could care less. The features have not been revolutionarily different for the last whenever. So I'm just like, I just need my phone to work.
Yep.
That's all.
If you like video, the new one has like awesome video.
I might have to go get the new camera or the new iPhone specifically for video because like that's quickly becoming, a more important thing for what I'm doing. So yeah, but that's the only reason why they just.
That's
keep
the
putting
reason
a
why
better
I want the
camera
new one.
on
They've
it.
got a cinematic mode that looks really good that I want to be able to use.
Is the lens?
Yeah, the
changeable?
lens is actually like, instead of a digital zoom,
Yeah.
it's actual zoom now. So the quality stays high whenever you zoom in on stuff.
Jared, you seem to have, at least at our age, when we're like in our mid-30s, we've kind of both hit what seems like a stride where we're pretty happy.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I spend online, on like YouTube, watching content that's geared towards men, seems like that's not the case, that most people are very unhappy.
Yeah.
And that's not just, men are unhappy, but so are women, And there seems to be an epidemic of this unhappiness. But yesterday, we did not plan to see each other, but I rolled into a Quick Trip, which is like a gas station from where we're from, and you were there.
Yeah.
So what does a day and then expand that into a week of your life look like, and how do you think those habits are making your life relatively happy one? What happens to you every week?
There's a few things. I've got 2 kids and an amazing wife.
Yeah, and that's something that's
And-
going like plummeting right now.
What
People aren't getting married and they're
people
not
aren't getting
having
married.
children. Yeah.
This year has been hard financially, like harder than it's been in a long time, just because of the current state of the world or whatever. But I do still maintain a pretty well-leveled sense of happiness, because when I see my kids, they make me happy. Just seeing how all this stuff is going on in the world and they're unaware of it, and just happy to be playing with toys or whatever. They're just like, what's the term I'm looking for? Just like
What did they say?
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, that's the.
Their ignorance is I envy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like they're just here existing, and just seeing them be happy regardless of what's going on in the world makes me happy.
Right.
And then the fact that I have Lauren, someone to rely on whenever I'm feeling sad or feeling happy, or if I have an idea that I want to share with to get an opinion on. It's just the fact that I have that kind of companionship keeps me happy, and we do a good job of respecting each other. But we make mistakes just like anybody else would. And then the other thing is I've felt more happy this year because I've decided to actually start going and putting work into a dream. And even though I'm making less money than I used to, I feel more endorphins or a serotonin just boosting through my brain because I'm putting effort into something that I want to make happen.
You move the needle a little bit more each time towards something that seems greater and more important and meaningful to you, and so that makes you feel happier. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, just a lot of we all have ideas. We're like, yeah, this would be a good idea. I should do that someday. But this year, I think this was Dwayne Johnson that said this. Is like, take one day and or he said it like this: stop saying I'm going to do this idea one day and say it, I'm going to do this idea today. I'm going to make a move today, not one day.
Sure.
So I heard that, and then I started working on stuff that I want to make happen. It hasn't succeeded yet. It's not where it hasn't hit the level of the dream that I'm picturing it in. But the fact that I'm taking steps has just made me happy. And the fact that my wife is supporting it makes me happy. And also our problems are so minuscule compared to other people's. So I mean, I've switched my focus. Though? Like me and yours, like our family stuff, like just compared to the rest of the world, I think they are.
I don't know. It's really hard to compare suffering, and I think that you shouldn't in a lot of ways because so let's say you have this and I don't mean to. I hope I derail you. Okay,
you're good.
I don't think it's okay to compare suffering because everybody's worst day of their lives is their worst day of their lives. Yeah. So if you have this person who has it all, let's say they were born into an affluent family and they've never lacked any sort of physical object or never really not had their needs met, they've never been hungry or whatever, you could say, well, this person has no right to claim that they've suffered. But if they go and maybe their family says that they're a disappointment to them because they're not joining in the affluent culture or whatever, and they feel as bad as they've ever felt, those negative emotions that they're feeling, that darkness, that hits the same no matter what level of affluence or what kind of privilege you might have. Everybody's worst day is their worst day. And whenever we say things like, oh man, well, my suffering, it's nothing to compare to this guy who has it way worse, or these folks in this other country that don't have food or whatever, that I think in some ways that's a very thankful way to be viewing your life, which is good. But also you have to also acknowledge that your worst day is your worst day. I remember things that were so painful emotionally for me that I haven't had a day that bad maybe ever since, and it was in my 20s, but that doesn't mean that my suffering isn't valid, and
right.
I think that a lot of people, you're not like this, but I think that a lot of people will take that, well, my suffering isn't worth talking about, or my suffering isn't worthy of mention because it's not of whatever privilege I might have or whatever, people are talking these days. And I think that that's inappropriate. You need to talk about those things
absolutely.
Just as much as anyone else does. So you shouldn't hide your pain.
No. Shouldn't hide your
I don't
pain.
know. I guess I only wanted to say that because if anybody's listening to this and they're like, well, my life sucks, but it doesn't suck as hard as this other guy's. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't go talk to somebody about it and go figure it
Absolutely.
out, you know.
No, yeah, it's hard to be vulnerable like that. But it's good to be, because what you're going to find is that people that are relating to your situation, and then
Right.
you guys are going to be able to figure it out together on how to move forward, or just feel validated in the way you feel by expressing whatever feeling you might be dealing with. It also will make you feel closer to a person, deciding to, get rid of some walls that you might have built up.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah. So to bring it back to my question to you and your schedule, because I thought whenever I think about people that are relatively happy or that people who are living lives that full of meaningful work, doesn't mean that they don't suffer, but it does mean that they have this sort of energy around them. I asked about your schedule literally because at the end of the day, what's causing the good things in your life is habits.
Yep.
That you may not realize that you're doing. So like, I saw you at Quick Trip, and then you were like, "Well, I'm gonna go edit this video." You literally couldn't talk because you were like, "I'm busy. I gotta go do the thing."
Yep.
Right? What do you keep yourself occupied doing?
Well, working, and then once I'm done working, hanging out with the kids, and once the kids are asleep, hanging out with my wife or hanging out with the bros.
Yeah, and that happens on a regular basis.
It's like scheduled in. Like me and Lauren have a date night on Thursday nights. I have a bro night on Wednesday nights, and then on the weekend we have some kind of family event or some kind of friend event. That's the standard schedule, and then work throughout the week.
Well, it seems like it's so easy to take your life and then like completely isolate, even if it is just your immediate family, like you, your kids, and your wife. That seems like it get lonely really quick if you don't like somehow plan for larger community. Where are you getting the extra people from? You got that from on Bros Night.
Yep.
And then I guess you hang out with your extended family a lot.
Yeah, we hang out like once a month.
Yeah. I wonder, because I was watching some sort of demographic study about, or actually, I don't know if I was watching this. I think my brother was explaining it to me. It doesn't matter, but families used to, one, have kids all the time because of the agrarian nature of human society. So, like, when you had children, they were literally like employees on the farm. Like, oh, we need more people to make more food, so we just got to make more people.
Let's just make some more people.
Yeah, so let's get it on, make the next generation of employees, or whatever. But then you'd have like grandma and grandpa, and then one of the kids would be taking grandma and grandpa into their house, and then uncles and aunts would probably live within a mile of proximity of each other, and then so you'd have this familial structure that would be like, it's not uncommon for like 15 people to be around each other all the time.
Yeah.
That, to me, that seems like better.
Whenever you're around a group of people.
Well, yeah, on a regular basis. Imagine how connected to, like, belonging to something bigger than yourself you would feel if your family was regularly within, you'd see everybody once a week instead of once a quarter or once a year.
Yeah.
If you're lucky. I just think about how bad that's hurt people in the long run, emotionally.
Isolating themselves?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because if I'm not careful, I will sit in my house and I'll be like, it's just me.
What's your brain's tendency? What does it think of the most when you're by yourself?
Immediately calling other people.
Immediately calling other people?
I'm extroverted times a million.
Yeah.
So if I'm by myself for too long, I wilt. Like,
you just...
I'm like...
What am I thinking of? I don't know. I shouldn't be laughing at this. But
you imagine just me in my house and my PlayStation.
Wonder what Donnie's doing today. Probably this.
I don't play PlayStation hardly ever. No, I occupy my time. I keep myself busy enough that I don't really feel that way.
That's good.
And I don't think that it's a bad thing to do that. I know some people are like, hey, you need to be able to be good by yourself. I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm great by myself. But if I don't stay busy doing meaningful work, then I become rapidly depressed. And I'm wondering if that's not the problem with...
That was happening to me. That was absolutely happening to me.
Yeah,
I wasn't doing anything that I felt like
Yeah.
was getting me into a spot that I wanted to be, and that's all I would think about.
Yeah.
Until I started doing it, and all of a sudden my mood just like
Yep, immediately
changed.
Yeah, furthermore, like having a sedentary lifestyle, which is most of us, but definitely me, this last week, if I just do 25 sit-ups, 25 push-ups, 25 lunges, and walk around a little bit, I'm like, oh, wait a second. I don't want to kill myself anymore. I'm just kidding. I never wanted to do that. But
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah, that's my
perspective just changed, like big.
Yeah.
You know?
That's my wife's thing. Is she her purpose is the purpose that she wanted was, raising our kids, but like she still has to take care of herself, otherwise she'll get in her head, just like anybody would.
Yeah, so she was taking Indy on a walk whenever I went and picked up your headphones.
Yeah, so that's
today.
what she's been doing is building exercise into her routine, and it's just like me with like doing meaningful work. It's completely changed her mood, her regular mood. You know what I mean? Her tendency, the mood that she tends to.
Oh yeah, that negative emotion thing. I had a friend who was really struggling with emotional issues, whether they were like in clinical depression or not. I couldn't tell you, but they had a checklist that was like, have I drank any water? Did I shower today? You know what I mean? And these seems like dumb, like no duh things, but if I get up and I don't take a shower and I don't drink a freaking glass of water and I don't walk around a little bit, if I don't see some sunlight today, man, we got problems.
So
The machine is not working.
how often do you shower a week?
Oh, I'll shower every day.
Every day?
Maybe twice.
How many times do you think I shower a week?
3. On a good week. I don't think you shower at all, bro. But you got a different
What?
You got a different thing going.
I shower. shower.
You are a dry human.
Yes, I am.
You're a dried out human. You are like a fucking raisin.
A raisin?
Yeah, like
what does
all
that mean?
Dehydrated.
I'm gonna be 70 years old with no wrinkles on my face, so I'm not gonna be a raisin.
I don't know.
But
about
to
that.
answer your question, 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah, I know you don't do that. But I'm
not a smelly
To be
person,
fair,
dude.
I don't think you ever had acne. Like you were
I
like
had small bits.
just a little bit, yeah. But you had like adult levels of acne, not like teenager like pizza face acne like I did. So like my body chemistry is just completely different than yours. I'm like a hairy, moist human, and you're like a dry, piebald human.
Okay.
I know this because I remember growing up around you being like, why doesn't this guy ever break out? Why do I look like a fucking pizza? You know what I mean? Your dad was always making acne jokes at me, like to my face.
That must have felt bad.
Yeah, he was always like, "What's up, Cyclops? So you got a zit right here."
yeah. You do that anytime that I had like one zit on my face or something. And you know this is mean, but whatever, it's fine. Do you know that scene in Austin Powers where the guy's got the bowl and Mr. Evil, Dr. Evil goes. Yeah, one time I walked out of my room, had like a zit somewhere around there. My dad just looks at me and goes, and I couldn't help but. I couldn't help but laugh because I loved that movie.
Yeah. I think, okay, so your dad relentlessly making fun of us for stuff we couldn't control, that made me feel very bad in the moment. But I think if I would have I think if I would have lived in your environment, your dad would have helped me develop some tough skin about stuff like that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that he's done for me.
I think that was a good thing overall as an adult looking back on it. But as a little kid who didn't have that in his house, and then I would go to your house, and your dad would be like,
yeah. Your mom was pretty what? Soft, like very like okay. Handled you well.
Let me tell you about my mom.
Oh no,
here's
Donnie,
a story.
is your feelings
I
hurt?
have a thinning spot on my hair, just where my dad's got one.
Yep.
And my dad's got a huge one now. He's got just a big old bald spot, but like my hair's thinning back here a little bit, and for the last 3 years, I've been at my mom's house, and she's been, Donovan, you need to scrunch the hair right here in the back, like scrunch it up a little bit. And I've always like, why would my mom tell me to do that? My whole life, she's never been like, scrunch that hair up back there. Right here, right on my spot that you would have a bald spot. And then I got to my barber, and I was like, my mom's always telling me to, like, scrunch this up in the back right here. What's going on? And he's like, oh, dude, it's just thin. It's just thin, so you got to, like, squish it up a little bit. And I was like, you mean my mom has been, like, low-key not telling me about my emerging bald spot that will eventually I will lose my hair right here? And my mom has just been softening the blow. If she'd have just said, son, you're going to have this crazy bald spot eventually, but for now.
How do you think you would have handled that in the moment?
I wish my mom would have been honest with me.
But how do you think
life,
you would have handled it in
my
that
mom has
moment?
been softballing me my whole life, so I was weak. You know what I mean?
My dad definitely did it softball ass, and that's definitely why I think I have some pretty thick skin.
Yeah.
I think it's evident because on game nights,
Yeah.
I'm usually the one that all the jokes are pointed to.
Right.
And whenever you do like those like bro jokes.
Oh, but you ask for them though. You ask for that level of like scrutiny.
I'm sure I do.
You're always like,
I'm sure I am a bit of a troll, but they you troll someone to get a reaction out of them.
right.
And most of the time I'm just like, meh.
What's actually happening is everybody thinks you're so funny to screw with. That's what's happening.
Why am I funny if I don't give them a reaction? It's usually just like, okay. Oh yeah, you're right. I am that way. I am a dingus.
I'll tell you what happens with game night and you is that you love, number one, you love making things interesting by putting money on it. Number two, you care about the games in a way that, like, I'm good at other stuff, so I don't go into game night thinking like I care whether or not I get beat.
I care about being at least average at every game.
Yeah. So and it's always been this way. Even since you were a little kid, like, no different. You care about winning and losing when it comes to this stuff.
Yep.
And so some people just don't care about the winning and losing part of it, so it's fun to get you riled up about it. And then it's really fun to beat you at it.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite memories of you is not whenever we were kids. It was like 3 months ago or 4 months ago. Is that we ended up at somebody's birthday party, and we were playing a drinking game where every time you lost, you had to take shots.
Oh my goodness.
And I got you so hammered. And I was completely sober the whole night. Because you kept on being like, double or nothing. Oh yeah, let's go again. And you are like complete. I have a video of you taking shots. I was like, Jared, why are you having to take your?
I think
fifth
that was
shot?
at Max's house, and I think I did get one win before.
No,
I had to have.
I think I clean sweeped you on every single thing. It was like beer pong.
That doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, no, you big loser. Big loser, and you were completely kablamskied by the time I left. I was like, hope you're not driving.
God, I
See you
hate
later.
shots.
But you
the
kept
worst.
on. That's the thing, is that your desire to win was higher than your desire to not be kablam.
I like putting something on the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, and you kept losing.
Fighting to not have to do something, or the satisfaction of making you have to take a shot like that.
Yeah,
that
I know, but every time I won, it got harder for you to win, which was so funny to me.
No, if I get to a certain spot,
I'm gonna send you the video.
If I get to a certain
literally having
spot
to take
of
the
like
shots.
buzzness, I'm an ace.
You are not an ace.
But if I get past it, I'm not an ace.
You're not even close to an ace, and I know it because I wiped the floor with you. And
That happened one time. There's been plenty of times when I've been an ace at that game.
See, look at how worked up you are. This is the whole thing. It's like right now, I'm doing the thing that everyone does to you at game night. Is I think it's hilarious that you're a loser at beer pong, and I love how drunk you were that night.
Well, I did not. I did not love how I felt. But whatever, I had to win.
But that's the circuit. Like, I think it's funny to get you like this, where you're like, no, see, I know I won one.
I tend to, on game night too, I tend to be like, one more.
Well, yes,
If
it's
I
always
lose.
one more.
One more.
I'm like, okay, you can take another shot. That's fine. Let's go, Jared.
I always want to end on a win, and if I don't get that win, I'm up till 3 a.m., and then I hate the next day.
Well, that's what happened.
Why'd you do that again, Jared?
Yes, I remember.
Sleep is better than winning.
Yeah. That's not a... Oh, gosh, it's so funny. I was like, But that's the circuit that everybody loves. punking on you
Do you
about.
remember being kids and like our go-to was drinking crap tons of Mountain Dew? Whenever we were playing game
It
nights.
was like, and it was also like, you want to stay up all night just to stay up all night? And you're like, yeah, that sounds like a fun activity.
You want to play video games for 12 hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
We would be so miserable. Like, I remember, what is it? I guess, like, getting to spend that much time together and have that much fun. My brain, it's literally, okay. First time I got high.
Okay.
Was around you.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember this now.
Yeah, it was last year. Like I had avoided marijuana this whole time, and I got so high. Like we had just eaten. You didn't smoke anything.
I don't
somebody
smoke.
else there had like a heroic spliff, and I took a drag on it like a cigarette, and it like. First time ever smoking weed, I thought I was just gonna like inhale it like a cowboy killer. And anyways, I was so colossally high. We had just eaten a whole burger meal with all the French fries and everything. I was super full and proceeded to eat a pizza.
Sounds about right.
And then, anyways, after that, I just wanted to go to sleep. You wouldn't let me.
It's like 9:30 p.m.
I could only see a tunnel. Everything else was blurry. And like, I'm just trying to find a bed to sleep in this house. And you're like, Donnie, you gotta stay awake.
Come out and play, Donnie.
Furthermore, like the purpose of this party was Nerf guns. And so everyone
is to celebrate someone getting married.
Yeah, and there was Nerf guns and I was baked and there was just, it was like, Nerf Saving Private Ryan all over the house all the time. And I'm like, my tummy hurts. And I only see this. And then you're like, Donnie, stay awake. You have to stay awake.
Donnie.
Stay awake. Wake up. You have to come play with us, you know.
I just want to sleep.
I want to go to bed. Anyways, my point is that was such an insane high.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for the next 6 months, I was like, I want to get that high again. And I was never able to achieve
It's nothing like your first time.
that, right? But I think as kids, we would sit there on the N64 and drink a bunch of Mountain Dew, get all hyped up like, woo! You know? Yeah. And then it'd be like, Smash Brothers. And we would have these moments where we'd have this incredible amount of fun. Like I remember some more inside jokes just about how we were interacting on those games. They're not funny to talk about. You would have to have been there. But particularly telling Kristen that she was playing when we just gave her a controller. That was like one of my favorite things. That's super funny, yeah.
That's a standard big sibling thing to do.
Yeah, you're playing. No, that's you.
That's you.
But we would try to recreate that high, how fun that was, all night. Mm-hmm. And then it was like getting ripped away from the drug when mom came to pick me up, or you had to leave the house. Or when the sun
started coming up.
Yeah. And then there was
go back down. We're not done yet.
The amount of like crash that would happen, I would be so tired, and like I was not getting a hit of the drug anymore. I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah.
I couldn't play with my friend Jared. I was so tired, but it was like 3 p.m, and I'm like, finish him. Like I was getting ready to get fatality. Like that's how like messed up I was. And I'm like at the house by myself in the dark. A bucket of Legos poured out on the ground by myself. That's
was it all worth it?
Yeah. But I think I don't know. I think what we were doing as kids was chasing the dragon.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They say not to chase the dragon once you get a high. Like you can't.
Yep.
You're never gonna feel that again. You just enjoy it and keep going. And I don't know why we're talking about that, but that's what I feel like we were doing when we were staying up that late all the time.
Yep.
Because we were chasing some sort of mystical like experience that we
It was
had.
a mystical experience. That's why we stayed up that late over and over again playing video games more than once.
Do you think that love is the same way?
What do you mean? Elaborate.
Well, like I suffered from this way worse than you did, I think. You and I had way different emotional lives when it came to the way that we experienced girls, but like when I dated Chorley,
Yeah.
that's what I felt. I felt this like magnificent high that was like really, really big, and it hit at just this particular time in my life where that made sense to be like the highest I'll ever feel doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're not careful, you'll chase the feeling of that. Did you ever experience anything like that?
No, but I mean, I had a strange circumstance where the only really moment where I felt that strong chase was with Lauren, and then I ended up with Lauren.
Yeah, so you're very fortunate to have felt that.
Everybody else didn't really. I mean, she wasn't the only person I dated, but it never got to the level with anybody else like it did with Lauren.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Bad person to ask. We should get Josiah on here, and you guys
See what he thinks.
See what he thinks.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the phrase like it's better to have loved than and lost than to have never loved at all?
Yeah.
Like I'd never really spent time thinking about what it would be like to have never loved. But at this stage in my life, I think I can imagine what, like if I felt like I did now and had never felt like I did when I was younger, I wonder if I think I'm really thankful
that you experienced,
that I got to experience
that.
Because nobody can maintain that. There's no way that you could feel like I did. I was literally an insane person.
Yeah, with every relationship you get in, you kind of figure out, or every relationship that you get in that doesn't work out, you kind of figure out what you want in the end.
Today's conversation about love, chasing the dragon, is brought to you by South Point Honda.
South Point Honda.
They did not pay us any money
yet.
South Point Honda. But yeah, so I kind of think everything in life is that dragon chase. And that the best thing you can do, instead of trying to chase these like magnificent highs all the time, is actually devote yourself to calming down. So that way you can appreciate the little nudges of positive emotion that do come. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I get it.
It's a very Eastern philosophy kind of driven idea, but like just chill.
Yeah.
Like experience as little like take the extreme stimulation down, so that way when you do experience something fun, you're like, whoa, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why this conversation is making me think of this, but do you remember your most embarrassing moment in life?
Most embarrassing? Well, I was telling somebody a story this week that was really funny. I remember, I don't know what my most embarrassing moment should be, but I know what I remember.
Okay, yeah. The one that your brain is logged away.
I've
What is
done
that moment?
way dumber stuff than this, but I remember playing Nintendo, and I had a crush on Jasmine. You remember that? For like my entire childhood up until like 13 was like spent being like, there's only one woman in the world. Her name is Jasmine, right? And anyways, Jasmine was over the house. She was at my house, and it was me and you and her, and Ariel was there.
Yeah.
But Jasmine and I were playing some Nintendo 64 game, and I like had to like move, and we had just eaten a bunch of food, and I ripped the like biggest fart ever.
I remember this.
And I remember just being like next to Jasmine playing Nintendo and being like and just being like, that is a nasty ass fart I just ripped. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't do that.
I can't remember the aftermath. I remember it happening.
Oh, she said nothing. She just said
we all
nothing.
just ignored it?
Yeah, we just all just
That's
were like,
almost worse than just making it obvious. We all heard this happened, right?
Yeah. It was like,
well, we're not going to talk about that.
just the fart police coming to get me.
My goodness.
Yeah, it was bad. And like, I don't think it was a real stinker, but it was like one where I was like, God, the love of my life is playing N64 with
Why'd
me.
you do this to me, body?
Why did I have to fart? It's so bad. But yeah, like the amount of like anxiety and like embarrassment.
In the future, Donnie, if this moment happens again, where you're in the room with the love of your life, your body's like, we got to do this, bud. You just got to be like, I know we both heard that. I'm sorry.
I don't know. No apologies. Next time if that ever happens to me again, number one, I'd be like, I know you fart too. Don't act like you don't fart.
I don't know.
You have to normalize. You have to normalize the things that everybody does. I'm not saying that you should just, fart on your girlfriend or whatever,
Right.
but like.
But it's all right to say sorry for farting.
Oops. I think it's fun.
That kind of works too.
Oops. My bad.
Gotta control that one.
Yeah, I think there's something endearing about
just letting your bodily.
No, just
stuff
being like,
out.
yeah, I didn't want that to happen, but what are we gonna do now? We all make mistakes. That's one of mine.
That's one of mine.
That is it is what it is. Everybody toots, man.
Everybody toots.
Where are we going today, Jared? Where's Carmen?
Where's Carmen? Are you talking about the Christian?
San Diego?
The Christian
That's not-
singer
that's not- no,
that we
no,
grew
no,
up
no.
listening to?
No, he's dead.
He's dead?
Yeah, Carmen died, bro.
He died?
I think so.
What was one of his biggest songs?
Satan, bite the dust.
Bite the Dust. That's what it was.
Yeah. And there was also
Bite the
like,
Dust.
man, what was his other ones? It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I don't care
Music
that
videos were
much.
Tops. Okay.
All right. We're approaching the end, and we got to do our dad jokes.
Oh, that's what you wanna wrap it up? Okay.
We're running out of time.
Okay.
And you know what's great about these dad jokes is quite often when we do them, it creates a segue
Into some
something
other
interesting.
conversation.
Into something interesting. It also gives me something that I can easily make shorts out of.
All right.
All right, you want to go first?
Sure.
All right, go.
How do you get a farm girl to marry you?
How?
First, a tractor.
I like that one. I quit my job at the helium factory.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't be spoken to in that tone.
You guys are gonna have to bring it down.
Gotta take it down from. This is a little too high. You gotta bring it down here, all right?
All right, everybody.
Quit talking to me like this.
You're all too high pitched for me.
You're too high pitched for me.
Of all the inventions of the last 100 years, the dry erase board has to be the most remarkable.
Remarkable. Okay.
Remarkable.
Remarkable.
Bro, I don't ride them, I steal them.
Not your best stolen work. All right. All right. Donnie. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with me. All right. My wife complains I don't buy her flowers.
Why not?
To be honest, I didn't know she sold them. Let me say it again. Let me do it one more time.
No, that was great.
Okay.
You have to just keep that one.
All right. Your turn.
Well, what happens when you pinch a grape?
What?
It lets out a little wine. You're faking it.
Yes, I am. Yes, I was faking
You
it.
want to laugh. You want to laugh. They're not funny.
I know.
These aren't funny.
No. This is not the best work, but whatever. Did you know that tobacco companies kill their best customers and condom companies kill their future customers?
I don't think they kill them. They just trap them.
Yeah.
And they get thrown in a trash can.
Yeah, they get thrown away. They're throwing away their customers with their product.
All right, guys.
This is a bad business.
We have waited a long time for this. It's time to go. The big race to the egg is on. Good luck, my men.
I can't get out of this thing.
Oh, ding.
Who won? None of us. We're stuck in this wrapper.
Oh, my God. Where are we? Oh, we're in the trash.
All right, you got one?
Guys, I thought we were going to be separated, but looks like we're going to be in this forever together. Into the great abyss. Our dad hates us. What has 5 toes but isn't your foot?
What?
My foot.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Last night, I asked Alexa how to turn her off.
Oh, yeah? How do you do that?
She said, why don't you try walking around the room naked for me?
It's because you have an ugly pee-pee.
How would you know?
I don't know. It's what Alexa said.
Alexa told you this?
No. Alexa didn't tell me anything. Alexa clearly thinks
You're
you're
asking
unattractive.
Alexa about my penis.
Alexa.
What is Jared's penis like?
Okay, get this. All right, this is not a dad joke. It is a dad joke. Why are women so bad at depth perception?
Why?
Well, because for the last 10,000 years we've been telling them that this is 9 inches long. They can't like back in a car. They can't like.
That's funny. That's great.
Furthermore, this is 2 feet.
Furthermore, this is 2 feet.
This is 12 inches, bro.
This is 9 inches.
This is what 9 inches looks like. This is what 12 inches looks like.
That's funny. You got one more, or is that it?
I literally have an entire giant list I've compiled.
Oh, that's great. I got one more after you, then we'll end
Okay.
it there for the dad jokes.
I built a model of Mount Everest, and my son asked, "Is it to scale?" And I replied, "No, it's to look at."
Is it to scale? No, it's to look at. Today at the airport, there's this woman completely passed out on the carousel.
Okay.
Eventually she came around. That's all I got.
Oh, man. That was great.
Yeah. I don't know. This might be it.
Don't let any of your wives know this.
This is
is
9
inches.
You learned anything today? It's that. Well, Donnie,
Yes, sir.
I think that's all the interesting thoughts that my brain will come up with, or uninteresting.
Shouldn't worry too much about it. We just get in here and just shoot the breeze, man.
Yeah.
There's what was I thinking about? There was a topic that I actually wanted to talk about. Maybe you can cut this in if you want to or not. If we lose a camera, it's no big deal.
Go ahead.
I've been watching some content on YouTube, and a more recent one that has been popping up a lot is population decline.
Really?
Like, the statistics are there to show that we simply won't have enough people.
Eventually?
Like, soon, like within 100 years.
We won't have enough
Especially
people in 100
in
years?
South Korea particularly, but cultures, South Korea is the furthest ahead on this, but it's followed up by westernized Europe, and then France, United States, and the UK. We are having rapidly declining birth rates. So
Is it
people are
because there's a rapid decline in people liking kids?
I don't know why this is happening exactly, but it seems to be like a large problem combined with a lot of different things. People are waiting a much longer to get married, and then people are assuming that they can continue to push back childbearing more and more and more, and then people are finding out that they're not able to have children. But what do you think of that? And do you think that that's going to be a forever trend, or what thoughts come to your mind when you hear about that kind of thing?
The first thing that comes to my mind when I hear that is I've heard Elon Musk talking about it a lot recently. But there's a rapid decline in people having kids. And I think China there used to be a law put in place where like each family could only have one kid.
Depending on what your place in society was, farmers were allowed to have two.
Okay.
You know, but if you were like in a major city center, I think you.
Well, they must have noticed this because there was a change in that law. I mean, it's a scary thought, thinking that in 100 years we're not going to have enough people on the earth.
It's just going to rapidly change society.
To I guess function or whatever, but
like in Japan, they have more old people than there are people to take care of them, so they're dying alone.
I think it just shows the change in culture, or how fast culture can change. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, a lot of my friends like don't even want kids. Like, it's almost.
Who do you know that's saying that?
Well, I mean, I don't want to like name a bunch of people, but there's quite a few of them that just aren't interested in having kids at all, and that seems like a.
Do you think that's true? Or do you think it's a lie that we've been told?
What do you mean?
Like,
do I think it's true that we're actually declining?
No. I mean, like, do you think it's like true that it's you being someone who has children? You would never take it back.
No,
you wouldn't be
I
like,
would never take it back.
Yeah, you love it.
I love having kids. I mean, it's hard having kids. It's hard raising kids.
Yeah.
Maybe it's people not wanting to challenge themselves in that way. They just have no desire. They'd rather do something else.
Better to have.
It is absolutely better. There's so many. I find myself in core memories being created with my kids that I wouldn't have if I didn't have them, and powered through the struggle that is raising kids. Raising kids is hard. It's really hard, and it really tests your patience and kind of really shows you the person that you are through that more than anything else. I mean, growing up with my parents, my parents were great. And they would do some things that I would be like, I don't want to do that. Not like abuse or anything like that. They were fantastic, like small things. And I'd take things from like, I don't want to do that, and I'm going to do that. But now that I have kids, I find myself doing exactly what they were doing. It's hard. It's hard to raise kids. It's hard to maintain your composure the whole time while you're raising these kids, and you do things that you wish you wouldn't have.
Right.
But what excites me is like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and it's more exciting because I have these little humans that me and my wife made, and they bring so much joy in those moments that it's totally worth it. And then in 10, 20 years, I get to marry these kids off or don't, whatever they decide to do. And they get to, I'll have someone to talk to when I'm a 70-year-old person that nobody wants to talk to. You know what I mean? It's like I have a lot to look forward to.
Like, I can't, I'm glad that you see it that way. I actually, being my age, I'm 35 and I'm unmarried. I feel sad. I feel sad that in some ways it didn't happen for me when I wanted it to in my 20s. Because I look at my life and I go like, well, if I marry someone who's like me, who's my own age, it's very likely we won't be able to have children. And that's big. That's really crazy. So I mean, my inclination is to want to date down, like date younger people, not because I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio and I want to just like pound 20-year-olds. That's not why. It's like I want to be able to have children,
Yeah.
And that if I get with somebody who's my age, then it's great. We can immediately try, I guess.
How old was your mom when she had you?
My dad was 40 and my mom was in her mid-30s.
Okay.
Yeah, they thought they were donezo, but they weren't. So it's possible.
Totally
it's
possible.
But I'm like, what my point is that it's just a different. It kind of freaks me out a little bit.
It freaks you out that you haven't had kids yet, or what freaks you out?
It does. It does. It freaks me out. I'm like, maybe I won't get to have my own children.
I think you will. I think it's all going to work out.
Yeah.
But
exactly imagine the heaviness of that and how many people are feeling that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we were told that it was like better to wait. But from what I understand is that fertility peaks at about 25.
Really?
Yeah. You're more fertile than you're ever going to be at 25, and then it's just immediately like until, Well,
also we live in Oklahoma where it's the culture is people get married in their mid-20s and start having kids immediately.
Yeah,
and
forget that. My parents got married when my mom was 17 and my dad
Yeah,
was
that's
21.
That's crazy. I mean,
That's not crazy.
I mean,
think
it's
that
not.
was
It's
actually
not,
normal.
Sure, it's not crazy. It's normal here. It's not normal in like the East Coast or
But
the
you
West
just go
Coast.
back in time 75 years and it was the most normal thing in the world.
Right.
So society has changed.
Yeah,
I
it has
think.
changed. Well, yeah, that's why there's a decline in people existing. But
I just don't know if that's good because of how much joy you have in your life and how much you attribute that to your children. Like I'm not like jonesing to have kids.
right.
Like I've got my dreams, you know. I've got like the things that I'm wanting to do, but is it a good trade to potentially not have them?
I think you're gonna have both. If as
I
long as
hope
you,
so.
as long as it's something that you put effort into, you know, like trying to find the right person for you, but not like settling for something that you don't want because that's just gonna cause misery.
Yeah,
for
sure. I'm
both
not
of
doing
you.
that. Yeah.
It'll still happen if it's a desire of your heart and you still shoot for it.
Yeah.
It could happen in 10 years and be perfectly fine.
Well, yeah. I won't be shooting blanks for a while.
so I wouldn't worry about it or put too much time into worrying about it.
Right.
Just let it happen. Whenever it happens, it's going to happen as long as
Oh,
you're...
of course. That's what I'm doing. I mean, I don't mean to say that I'm rushing anything.
Right.
But I am saying that like facing the facts
Yeah.
statistically makes me sad.
Just don't think about the statistics. You can be
The exception.
Yeah, you can be the exception.
Yeah, sure. It is what it is.
Don't worry about the statistics.
is what
It's
it
just
is.
going to drive you crazy.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that brings me to something that my brothers and I have been, or my brother and I rather, have been talking about a lot, and that's letting go of control of things that you
Can't control.
can't control.
Yeah.
Like if you can't control it, you go, great.
Yeah.
Guess I won't worry about that because I can't.
It's good.
There's no reason to worry about
Free up that mind space, you know?
it. You know?
The person that you are by yourself is based off the thoughts that you let yourself have. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you want to be a happy person, try to put a little effort into focusing on what makes you happy, because then that will reflect on how you treat people around you.
Oh, we were both taught that.
Yeah.
When we were younger, very well, and I think that's probably why we seem to be the exception and not the rule.
Right.
When it
And
comes
it's-
to being relatively happy most of the time.
Yeah, and it's harder. I mean, it's easier said than done, but it's worth being said. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's all
But
I got.
that's it. This is another great episode. I'm so glad that we get to do this every week together.
Yeah, so fun.
So much fun. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and please comment. Give us your thoughts. Let us know something that you thought about us while we were
If
doing
there's
this.
a topic that you think we should discuss that's timely, we just need to be reminded to talk about it.
Yep.
I'm sure we will.
Nate left another comment about stuff he wanted us to talk about, but I forgot.